start, I need to be clear about something. This isn't just a story. This actually happened to me when I was living in the US. And even now, I never sleep with my closet door open. Back in late 2021, I moved to a quiet town in Ohio for a new job. It was one of those places where nothing ever seems to happen. Empty streets at night, old wooden houses, and a kind of silence that feels too heavy. I found a cheap apartment online. The price was unusually low, but I didn't question it. When I met the landlord, he seemed normal at first, but he kept glancing at the hallway, like he didn't want to be there too long. While handing me the keys, he said something that stuck with me. The last tenant left in a hurry. I asked why. He just shrugged. Didn't say. The first 2 nights were completely normal. No sounds, no problems. I actually started to like the place. But on the 3rd night, everything changed. I woke up suddenly at exactly 2:31 a.m. No nightmare, no sound, just awake. At first, I thought nothing of it, but then I noticed something strange. The silence felt wrong, too quiet, like the entire apartment was holding its breath. Then I heard it, a soft movement, not outside, inside my room. Slow footsteps, moving across the floor. I froze. My heart started racing as I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight. I scanned the room. Nothing. The door was locked. Windows closed. There was nowhere for anyone to hide. I told myself it was just my imagination. Then, from the corner of the room, creak! I turned the light toward the closet. The door was slowly opening by itself. I couldn't move. There was no wind, no sound. Just that slow, unnatural movement. I forced myself to stand up and walk toward it. Every step felt heavy, like something was pulling me back. When I reached the closet, I grabbed the handle and pulled it open. Inside, just darkness and clothes. But something wasn't right. All my clothes were pushed tightly to one side, like something had been standing there, watching, waiting. I shut the door immediately and backed away. That night, I didn't sleep at all. The next morning, I told the landlord. He smiled, but it didn't feel real. Old apartments make noises, he said, but his hands were shaking slightly. That's when I knew. He wasn't telling me everything. Over the next few nights, things got worse. Every night, I woke up at the same time, 2:31 a.m., like something was waking me up on purpose. Sometimes I'd hear knocking on the front door, but no one was there. Other times I'd hear movement in the kitchen, plates shifting, drawers opening, but everything looked untouched. And every single night, the closet door would be slightly open, even though I always closed it before sleeping. One night, I decided to stay awake. I sat on my bed, staring at the closet, waiting. Around 3 a.m., the lights suddenly went out. The entire apartment dropped into darkness. My breathing became loud in my ears as I turned on my phone's flashlight. That's when I heard it. Breathing, right behind me. Slow, deep, unnatural breathing. I couldn't move. Every instinct told me not to turn around, but I did. Nothing. The room was empty. The breathing stopped. For a moment, everything was silent again. Then my phone slipped from my hand and hit the floor, screen facing down. The light spread across the floor, casting shadows on the wall. And that's when I saw it. A shadow. Tall, standing right behind me. But I was alone. The shadow didn't match my shape. It slowly tilted its head, like it was studying me. I felt my chest tighten. I couldn't breathe. Then it moved. just slightly. Closer. That was it. I ran. I didn't even grab my keys properly. I just ran out of the apartment and didn't stop until I reached my car. I stayed there until sunrise, too scared to even look back. The next morning, I told the landlord I was leaving. He didn't argue. In fact, he looked relieved. Before I left, I asked him one last question. What happened to the last tenant? He stayed quiet for a long time. And he said, very slowly, he lived alone. One night, neighbors heard screaming. When we broke the door, he was on the floor, eyes wide open, face frozen. I felt cold all over. I asked, did he say anything? The landlord nodded. Before he died, he kept saying, it's in the closet. It comes out at night. I left that day. I moved to a different city, different apartment. For a while, everything was normal again. No sounds, no shadows, no fear. I thought it was over. Until one night, about a month later, I woke up suddenly. 2:31 a.m. The same exact feeling. That heavy, suffocating presence. I slowly opened my eyes. Everything looked normal. But then, I turned my head toward the closet. The door was slowly opening, exactly the same way. From inside, pure darkness. And then, something moved. That's when I understood the truth. I didn't leave it behind, it followed me. Now, every night before I sleep, I check the closet. Twice, sometimes 3 times, and I never leave it unlocked. Because I know, one day, if I open it at the wrong time, I won't just see a shadow, I'll see what's been hiding inside all along. Before I start, this isn't something I usually talk about, but if you've ever driven alone late at night, you might understand why this still bothers me. This happened in 2022, somewhere in rural Pennsylvania. I was driving back home after visiting a friend. It was already past midnight, and I decided to take a shortcut through a long, empty highway that cut through the woods. It was faster, but barely anyone used that road at night. At first, everything felt normal. Just the sound of my engine, the headlights cutting through the darkness, and endless trees on both sides. Then about 20 minutes in, I noticed something strange. There was a car behind me. That wasn't the strange part. The strange part was it had no headlights on. At first, I thought maybe the driver forgot to turn them on. It happens. But this car stayed at the same distance behind me for miles. No lights, no signals, just a dark shape, following me. I felt uncomfortable, so I sped up a little. The car sped up too. I slowed down. It slowed down. That's when I started getting nervous. I grabbed my phone and checked the signal. No service. Of course, middle of nowhere. I told myself not to panic. Maybe it was just some weird coincidence. But then, something changed. The car behind me turned on its headlights for just 1 second. And in that flash of light, I saw something that made my stomach drop. There was no one in the driver's seat. I slammed the gas pedal. My heart was pounding so hard I could barely think. I kept checking the rearview mirror. The car was still there, still following me. But now, the headlights were off again, like it wanted to stay hidden. After a few minutes, I saw a gas station sign up ahead. I've never felt more relieved in my life. I sped toward it, hoping there would be people. But as I got closer, I realized something. The gas station was closed. No lights, no cars. Just an empty building sitting in the dark. I didn't want to stop, but I had no choice. The road ahead was completely dark, and I needed to figure out what was going on. I pulled into the gas station and parked near the entrance. The moment I stopped, the car behind me disappeared. just gone. No sound, no turning. Nothing. Like it was never there. I sat there for a minute, trying to calm down. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe I was just tired. Then I noticed something in my side mirror. Movement, right behind my car. I slowly turned my head. And that's when I saw it. A person, standing just a few feet behind my car. But something was wrong. It wasn't moving, just standing there, staring at me. I couldn't see its face clearly, but I could tell one thing. It was too tall, and its arms were way too long, almost reaching its knees. I locked the doors immediately. My hands were shaking as I tried to start the car again. The engine struggled for a second, then finally turned on. I didn't look back. I just drove, as fast as I could. After about 10 minutes, I finally reached a part of the highway where I got signal again. I pulled over and called a friend, trying to explain what just happened. He went quiet for a moment, then asked me something strange. "Did the car behind you have its headlights off most of the time?" I froze. I said, "Yeah. How do you know?" He took a deep breath and said, "That road. People have reported seeing a car like that for years." I didn't say anything, and he added, "They say it only shows up late at night, and it follows you until you stop." I asked him, "What happens if you don't stop?" There was a long pause. Then he said quietly, "No one really knows, because most people who see it don't keep driving. I never took that road again, and I never will. But sometimes, late at night, when I'm driving alone, I check my rearview mirror, just to make sure there's no car behind me with its headlights off."